Hey y'all, so I am doing the Q&A. It is happening. Y'all submitted some questions and I'm really excited to answer them. I have my script. I am doing this Dolly Parton beat. So I'm watching Dolly Parton, Coat of Many Colors, and it is a beautiful movie about lessons of love and light and overcoming triumph. So that inspired this look go off. I'm really loving it so far, but I'm not finished, so I'm obviously gonna finish it up, and I'm gonna answer your questions. So let's see. So, so the first question I received was my favorite slash least favorite astrological placement. I'm gonna be talking while doing my makeup, so just know that. Okay, so let me talk about my favorite. Um, I'm gonna have to say that my favorite is definitely going to be um I would have to say Capricorn. I'm surprised as well, but since I started living with a Capricorn, I just noticed that they really are resourceful. They stay in their lane, they mind their own business, they live their own life. And they really just like allow for complete freedom. And I mean, obviously, I'm living with an older, not obviously, but I'm living with an older Capricorn. And older Capricorns, they say that life for Capricorn doesn't really begin until like 40, which totally, till after 40, which I can totally see because this man has his life together. He's out at a concert right now. And I'm here, and he supports me in like every aspect of my artistry and my being. He's a queer punk, so we just really mesh well together. So I'm gonna have to say favorite is Capricorn. I also really appreciate their dry humor. I appreciate the fact that they can venture off into their own life in isolation and be productive with that. I also really appreciate their work ethic. I feel like as someone who's still learning about discipline and getting that under control, he's like the perfect person to be in my life right now. I okay, so and then least favorite astrological placement. I'm gonna have to say, oh, I'm just assuming this is like sun sign, by the way. Um, I'm gonna say my least favorite astrological placement is going to be mm, Taurus. Now, I'm saying Taurus just because I have had, I mean, this is subjective because I'm a Gemini, I'm an air sign. I'm someone who loves ideas, loves the fact that I can pick up and leave, and the freedom to do so anytime I want. And having been raised by a Taurus and having ex housemates who are Tauruses, I just don't mesh well with them. I think they become really possessive and really just overly attached and I don't know, it's really hard for me to mesh well with them. So I feel like if there were a period where I could really get to know, and honestly, mind you, this has been Taurus women. I have not, well, actually, no, Taurus men too. I haven't really, I don't know, it's really hard for me to get close to them because I feel like by getting close to them, you are essentially becoming under their possession. Sounds stupid coming from an air sign, but I just have noticed it. Like the moment you really allow a Taurus to get in your inner circle, they really start getting possessive about your energy, where you're going, what you're doing. They either want to be there with you or they're questioning as to why they're not with you. Um, yeah, there's just a lot of issues that I have with Tauruses. I believe Tauruses are beautiful. Tauruses have taught me the delights of the body. They have taught me sensuality. They have taught me appreciation of nature. So I fuck with Taurus in that aspect. But I just don't see myself getting close or wanting to have close connections with any Tauruses. And mind you, I'm actually really trying to. I noticed that as an air sign who's dominated by air and fire, I noticed that it's very common that air signs and earth signs don't get along. And that's just because of, how we attach, how we, navigate this world. But I told myself, like, you know what? This is something that you have, everyone's going to teach you something. Every sign's going to teach you something. Every person's going to teach you something. But I would rather learn that in like from a distance. I don't really see myself wanting to. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's good. I don't see myself wanting to be too close or involved with any Tauruses. Or, I can do Capricorn. As I said, they're my favorite. Not to knock like any other signs, but oh, I feel like I just love Earth signs. Like I love Earth signs. That's super contradictory. I just noticed that like whenever I associate with Virgos, I love them. Capricorns, I love them. Tauruses, I love them to a certain extent, and then I notice that it gets sour really quickly. Um, I feel like I attract a lot of water signs and a lot of fire signs, and air signs were just so detached from a lot of deep connections that I don't really take the time to meet a lot of air signs. Or if I do meet air signs, we love how, witty we are and how intellectually stimulating we are and how just like, we're a breath of fresh air, literally. But yeah, I noticed that in my life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Next question. What? Thank you. Oh, thank you guys so much for these questions. By the way, I knew that going into. Oh fuck! My old coffee cup with my lipstick is still there. I'm gonna wash that. I noticed that as I've grown with my YouTube channel, I'm getting a lot more engagement. I'm getting a lot more support and really positive feedback. And I welcome constructive feedback on how I can improve, especially if you've been doing it longer. Wow, my cheekbones are cut. So yeah, I really am down to get better at this YouTube thing. I know that I'm getting better with time, and it's nice to see that the people that really care about me expressing myself are fully on board with it, and that makes me so ecstatic. So thank you so much. I cannot express how much I am appreciative of it. I'm just kind of analyzing my facing, what else I can add. She has a really cute, Dolly Parton has a really cute jacket in this film. It's like a bunch of colors. So I might add like splotches of different colors because I have more eyeshadows. So much thanks again for all the makeup. Love. Okay. What is your fave eyeshadow color if you had to choose one? Okay. If I had to do one, okay, no, this isn't the question, but if I had to choose one eyeshadow to do for the rest of my life, no other color, I would do like a blood red because I can mix blood red with like white and then make like a rosy blush. And then I can do like a monochromatic red look. I love red tones. I have a Leo moon and a Sag rising. I didn't finish the Sag part, but I have a Leo moon and a Sag rising, and that's very indicative of warm colors, and I love warm colors on me. They love themselves on me. I can rock any color, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to reds, really fuck it up. Okay, so if you had 1 week off to do something for yourself, what things would you do? A Sag asked me this question. We stand. Okay, so if I had 1 week off to do whatever I wanted, what would I do for myself? So I am going to strategically plan this because I am just about that. So I would spend, okay, assuming money's no limit, this is in the future, I am prosperous, I am, artistically thriving. Um, I would spend the last portion of that week with my boyfriend Ricardo because I don't want to spend the entire week with him because I want to explore life and live this vacation just as an individual, as a loner. I want to experience world by myself, see what truths the universe exposed to me, and then I would spend the last probably weekend of that week with Ricardo so I can share everything I've learned. But I would decide to go on a shopping spree, week worth of outfits, just rock the looks each and every day. I would spend the first day doing like a detox from this city life because, we have cigarette smoke in the air, we have weed smoke in the air, we have a lot of like traumatizing shit that happens in these streets. And it's because the city of San Francisco doesn't give a fuck about its homeless population. But I would spend the first day detoxing. I would go to a spa. I would do a hair body mask, body exfoliant, fucking get my like beard shaped or get it shaved off and just have no facial hair. Probably get wax, ooh, so I can be like glistening. And then I would go sun tanning for the next day. Sun tanning at the beach. Probably with so the reason that I decided to, this is just a little segue. The reason I decided to go sober is just because I want more control and more productivity, and I'm seeing that as a result of me setting a schedule for artistic expression. So at this point in time, I am in control. I am, living life artistically, and so then I can celebrate with a nice blunt at the beach, maybe some shrooms, go swimming in the water, maybe go snorkeling, and then I would spend the middle aspect of the week painting different areas that I'm out at. Ideally, I'm in a space that has forest and ocean and mountains. So, if y'all know of a place like that, please let me know. So, yeah, I would do that. And then probably spend the last couple. I would spend the night, okay, so like we're assuming we're on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, I would go to like a local bar, probably like pub crawl, really get to know the people who live there, have conversations, hang out with them. And then by the time, it's the end of the week, I am relaxed, I am rejuvenated, I have lived and experienced new things. I have things to show for it, material and non material. And yeah, I spend the rest of the weekend having beautiful coitus with my boyfriend. And who knows, maybe if I'm like, doing drag as I am now, but like let's say I like go out to like Brooklyn, I go hang out with Mother Teresa and the fucking girls out there, that would be such a key. I would live. So yeah, I think that's what I would do. That is what I would do if I had something for myself that I would do for a week. Okay, so next question. What was the best mistake you've made? A mistake that turned out really well. I'm about to go in. Y'all, I'm about to go in. Not really, but I just definitely want to say that the biggest mistake that taught me the most was living with my old housemates. Living with my old housemates, I'm not going to drag their names across social media because that's not what I'm trying to do. But I will say that getting to know them, meeting a queer white couple who was really on the surface, really idealistic in, what I needed. They did give me a lot of support and love when things were good. But then I noticed they really taught me like how regardless of whether you're queer or not, white people will still have fragile egos, and white people, there's a lot of shit that is butting heads right now with queer people and the white identity, and using queer identity as a way to mask white guilt. And I kind of noticed that with them, and it was a complete shift because I feel like on the superficial level we got along, we smoked and chilled, but that's all we did. When it got to the point, and they were tourists too, when it got to the point where I was wanting to separate and not hang out with them all the time, they started getting really weird. And then I started trying to sober up, and I just noticed that this was their entire lifestyle. And that was really concerning for me because, these were two white people who had graduated from a university, and that's what I'm working on right now. But to know that after they graduated, they really weren't doing anything outside of working shitty jobs that didn't respect them. And there's a lot of good in them, but I feel like towards the end, we just butted head. And, I was toxic on my part too. I was passive aggressive. The reason why is because living with them, I didn't want to. This was such an ideal space for me. It was a space where I could grow as a queer person, as a a trans person. I was given the space and support. Eventually, that space wasn't really given because it was kind of like a mesh of that space, and I tiptoed around their feelings because I didn't want to be kicked out. I didn't want to be homeless. But that ended up causing so much resentment within us that we basically imploded. Totally fine. I wish them the best. I'm never going to mention their names, never going to see them again, really. So it's no issue. If I see them on the street, I'm probably not going to talk to them because why would I? Like, we made our peace when I left, and that's all there is on that. But that taught me so much. It taught me so much about queer identity. It taught me so much about, you know, living dynamics and microaggressions and, you know, just standing up for myself and not being afraid that just because I live with these people, I'm scared of getting kicked out, doesn't mean I should swallow my feelings, doesn't mean that I should bend to their will, especially because, like, them being a Taurus and, like, the Libra, like, was basically under the Taurus's control. Um, but I noticed that I, really shaped myself around the Taurus. Everyone kind of did because that Taurus had so much, they had such a dominating energy about them, and that's great. But I feel like whenever it came to things that were not on the agenda of the Taurus, the other two air signs would fucking, just bend down to their will. And I hope that that Libra has gotten some, has gotten a little bit of a backbone and has stood up to them. But, that's their thing to figure out. I don't really care. I'm living in a great space now. I'm in a space that supports me and doesn't really, there's not that codependent issue. There's not that, resentment. There's not that microaggression. There's not that passive aggressiveness. Um, and like they're always gonna see me as a villain. I'm always gonna see them as a villain. Not everyone's gonna like you, babe. That's totally fine. I just know that the people that do like me are of quality, and I can't say that for them. I really didn't see that much quality people entering their life. I feel like it was just their partner, one friend, and me. Which is really sad, but you burn bridges. That's what happens. I am not about that. I'm about burning bridge if it's toxic and if it's for the betterment of everyone. But I don't want to end things on a negative note. Left, no choice. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying I was like innocent completely because I'm a fucking bitch if you're just causing me emotional turmoil. And yeah, they can live their lives and I will live mine. And I'm pretty sure that's where we'll end it. God, I love my mind. Okay, next question. So, let me see. Okay, let me analyze my face. This is actually a pretty good. I'm just gonna take off my clothes and then take a photo shoot naked, draw on my Dolly Parton outfit, and then I will post that on my Instagram. So I'll have my Instagram handle right here so you can follow it if you want. I think honestly, yeah, I think this is really good. I think this is really cute, innocent. Oh, you know what? Actually, I noticed that Dolly Parton had some colors, as I said. So I'm going to paint. She had these really beautiful blue eyes, and there were like little parts that were like blue, purple. This next question's a doozy, y'all. Okay. Where did I put it? Okay. Okay. And then Dolly had these really okay, so as I said, Dolly had these really pretty light blue eyes. And there's this really pretty, like, frost. There's this really pretty frost blue right up there. I love this palette because it has a gradient of blues. It has a gradient of warm tones. Some neutrals that I don't really use, but I could use it for, like, natural makeup, I guess. Um, okay. Next is what's your song? Oh, by the way, all my videos that I publish now or in the future are not intended for kids. I don't mind if you are, 18 plus, under 18. I am not trying to be explicitly sexual, but as a queer person, it is a radical act to be explicitly sexual. I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about like sex left and right because I also think that that's an imbalance in repressed sexuality. But I will acknowledge sex where it is because I have sex. I am a queer trans person who has sex with men, non-binary people, trans men, trans women, everyone, pansexual, really doesn't matter. I just don't think that sexuality can be defined to one label, and as much as you want to attach a label to it, I am attracted to everyone. I think everyone holds beauty. I think that there is no way that I could possibly tell myself that I will not sleep with this person unless they're, completely revolting to me on some other level, usually mental, because if it's not in the head, it's not anywhere. So next I'm gonna do this pink. No, I could actually do no. This is a pretty long video, but I'm also, not rushing it. Oh no, that's okay. I think this is cute. I think this is where I'll keep it because then I'll have like a really colorful like outfit that I draw on. So we can just do that instead. I'm not gonna put on mascara just because honestly, like I love putting this on, love taking it off even more. I am going to just take this off after I take the pics and usually knock out because it's almost midnight. So anyways, I am a sexual being. I love my sexuality. I love sex. I love healthy sex. I love protected sex. I love aware sex. So this next song, what's your song that you play during sex? Okay, two part answer. If I am more dominant and a top, I'm a femtop typically, but if I'm more dominant and a top, I really want just really gay. I want Slater. I want Charlie XCX. I want Kim Petras. Like I want those queens to be blasting in my ears while I'm like pumping in. If I am being more the bottom, and I'm usually a power bottom too because power. I really like really slow songs. So like I love Summer Walker, I love Jen Aiko, I love Rihanna. Like just really, I have a Cancer Venus, as I've said. So I love songs that are just like you and me melting together, saturated love dripping. So yeah, those would be the types of songs. If I had to pick one song, like just off the bat, sex, my boyfriend knows "Kiss It Better" by Rihanna. I literally have the tattoo on my knee. Okay, so this is the last question, and I am so grateful for this question because this question is about to lay some facts. Lay some facts. We're at 24 minutes. Thank you so much for sticking it out. These are only 6 questions. I was shooting for 10, but you know what? Next time. So, I have my script. I wrote this, so I just want to say, I wrote this from my head. My education has been public high school community college. I have paid very little for my education. I do not have any major debt for my education, and I want this to be, it's intended to be universal for everyone in the queer community, and it is intended to be digestible to all backgrounds. No elitism. We are not trying to exclude anyone from this topic. We are trying to include everyone. We are trying to be inclusive. So, I love. Thank you so much, Chris, for asking this question. This is some of the answers. So, as you can see, I'm going to be reading. So, Chris says, when it comes to the gender roles people try to attach to top/bottom queer relationships, where do you think the dedication? I just need to check. Okay, I have 13%. I can do this. Where do you think the dedication to these antiquated ideas stem from? This is my answer. Right. So I'm going to start this question by reviewing how we socialize our children, or how we intentionally and specifically place value and information on their role in society. So if you live in America, as I do, San Francisco, California, California native, indigenous native, my family has been here for eons before colonialism. So, if you live in America, you live in a patriarchal society. Patriarchy comes from patriarch in Greek, and it is a society in which the male sex is favored, holds power, privilege, and dominion. Now, we are talking about how mainstream society socializes children, and the mainstream family is a cisgender, heterosexual family consisting of a father, mother, and children. Biologically speaking, each parent puts in half the amount of genetic material to form you as a baby. The father, on a social level, holds masculine values and teaches the child how to economically survive and what traits are favored in the society to succeed and reproduce/survive. The mother is in charge of the feminine roles, which includes the acknowledgement and maturation of emotions, developing proper care and nurturing feelings. Now, sexually, the father is the masculine embodiment, as the mother is the feminine. In nature, the male penetrates and impregnates, and the female is penetrated and becomes pregnant. Now, because we as a society only have had only one model of how a successful relationship, successful, this is in parentheses, successful in terms of the fact that the two parents reproduce and continue the survival of the species. We queers mimic this, mimic the model regardless of the gender identity/sexual preferences of the individual, because it is our only resource/example. This is why, for the longest time, the more feminine individual is assumed to be the bottom and the more masculine the top. This restricts us and is precisely why it is crucial that we as queer people exist, because we don't follow this model and in fact provide many different models and examples of healthy relationship and sexual dynamics. We support femtops. We support obviously fembottoms. We support butch bottoms. Butch bottoms are supported by us. I just wanted to let that know because I have a couple of butch bottom friends and you are support individuals' decision to not let their gender identity dictate their sexual preferences, and to be visible means providing millions of others in society the freedom to choose everything about our personal lives. I hope that answered your question. I'm pretty sure it did. I asked a lot of my colleagues that are aware of queer culture and queer culture dynamics, and just, experiencing life as a queer person, as opposed to, mainstream cis het people. So yeah, just know that, we should not be following a cis het model. Your sexual preferences, positions, dynamics are all about how you want it. Doesn't matter how you present your gender identity. Anyone can do anything in bed, and that is what is so freeing, liberating about sex. We're at 30 minutes exactly, so I'm gonna time this out. Thank you so much for watching this Q&A. I will see y'all next time. And if you want to see more Q&As like this where I lay down some facts, lay down this beat, then, we will do that. So just let me know, and, I can plan it in my schedule. Just